Hawadlah, Yahweh, Hashem, Yahushai, Hashem, Kakadash, double honors to the apostles and elders of GMS that rule and teach well. Peace and salutations to the brothers on the four corners of this earth, pushing this within truth, also in sincerity. I am Brother Manatazak, saying Shalom. Once again, just here with a short video. You know, I actually did this video last night. Unfortunately, through a lot of interruptions and, it was just against me. Satan was against my hardcore last night. So the video that I did do, I didn't bother to post it because I myself didn't find I was of the standard. So this is just basically redo of the video. So without further ado.
Human actions have pushed the world into the danger zone on several key indicators of planetary health. Our next report shows you how these deadly conditions are triggering dramatic changes in the conditions of the planet, something that affects both you and I. Take a look.
We're two-thirds of the way towards an unlivable planet. According to a new study released on Wednesday, human activity has now gone past 6 of the 9 planetary boundaries that are important for maintaining the stability and resilience of Earth as a place conducive to human welfare. According to analysis from 29 scientists in 8 countries, for over 3 billion years, the interaction between life and climate have controlled the overall environmental conditions on Earth. Human activities like replacing nature with other land uses, changing the amount of water in rivers and in soil, introduction of synthetic chemicals into open environment, and the emission of greenhouse gases to the atmosphere all influence these interactions.
Right, no, what I want to interject and say here is the things they're talking about, right? The people who commission these things or who give the okay to do these things are who? Right? We know it's Esau, it's Edomite, the so-called white man. Yeah? Because they are in charge. They are the ones who rule the world. They are. Right? And anyhow, we go on with the video.
In the new paper, the 9 boundaries are defined as the limits, which are designed to be conservative to enable society to solve problems before reaching a very high-risk zone. These 9 boundaries were first set out in 2009, aimed to establish a set of defined limits on changes humans are making to the planet, from pumping out planet-heating pollution to clearing forests for farming. The authors then pointed out to the unprecedented summer of 1.2 degrees Celsius of global warming, and added that crossing planetary boundaries does not mean the world has reached a disastrous tipping point. But the planet is entering a new, much less stable state that will not be as kind to our well-being, and this couldn't be a more stark warning of the need for deep structural changes to how we treat.
Yeah, so basically what he's saying is that we're ruining the planet. We completely destroying the planet. The planet is basically on its last. You understand? Now that is environmentally. Now we're going to deal with biologically, meaning like, well, I want to say viruses and so on. This is a new virus on the frontier now. I just want to read through it quick and get to the precepts, right? It is the Nipah virus or Nipah virus, right? It's according to the CDC, the Nipah virus (NIV) was first discovered in 1999 following an epidemic of the disease in pigs and people in Malaysia and Singapore, resulting in nearly 300 human cases and more than 100 deaths. The outbreak caused substantial economic impact, and more than 1 million pigs were killed and help control the spread of the disease. So they say it's spreading through pigs, right? And it had a big economic impact. That does sound like something that happened last year, the year before. Anyhow, although no other known outbreaks of NIV have been reported in Malaysia and Singapore since 1999, cases have been recorded almost annually in some parts of Asia since mainly Bangladesh and India. Right? NIV is a zoonotic virus, meaning that it initially spreads between animals and people, explained the CDC in the statement published in 2020. The animal host reservoir for NIV is the fruit bat, So they're going back to bats again. That does sound like, something we was combating 1 to 2 years ago. Also known as the flying fox. The virus can spread by fruit, bat, pigs, and through human-to-human contact such as saliva or urine. The initial contamination from an animal to a person is known as a spillover event. And once a person is infected, human-to-human spread of NIV can occur. So it only takes one person, one bad apple to spoil the bunch. And we go back to the top. Right, it's a Nipah virus outbreak in India. What you need to know about the viral disease. It's in India's southern Kerala state issues alerts for after 2 people died from the disease in the 4th outbreak since 2018. India's southern Kerala state has shut down school and offices and declared containment zones in parts of the state. You understand? What that sound like? What I remind you of? This didn't just happen. Let me be real. You understand? The LSA expect something later on this year, and we see any changes in the atmosphere. We see any changes in the weather. Yes, we know Esau using the instruments, and we getting down in that. Esau using the instruments to what? To fucking plague us. To have us under that fucking rule. You understand? Right now, I just received an article from the Brethren today, from Yakim today, saying our country, Trinidad and Tobago, is on a hot heat wave. Well, basically, the place will be hotter from now till the 29th of this month. It will be severely hotter, right? Between the hours of 10 and 4 p.m. 10 a.m. and 4 p.m., right? We're talking 34, around 34 or above 34 degrees Celsius. That's how we calculate temperature down here in the tropics. In America, they do it in Fahrenheit and so on and what have you. But we calculate it in Celsius, right? Anyway, for those who don't know, Celsius is a bigger calculation. Fahrenheit is a more finite, or not finite, a smaller calculation. So it takes a certain amount of Fahrenheit to make 1 Celsius. So when I say 34 Celsius, you could Google the conversion and find how much Fahrenheit that would be. But anyhow, right? All these things are what I was getting at is all these things is the effects of what of Esau's of the world being under Esau's rule. Yeah, all these things are the effects of the world being under his rule. But we know that they are the rulers of this world. Right now, let me go to Isaiah 32. The elder Apostle Ariamlab and elder Damashapat just like legit maybe an hour and a half, 2 hours, I believe at most. Just do a video, and this is the first precept they brought out, and in the spirit I was like, what? Because just last night I doing this video and everything interrupting me and stopping me, and I say, I ain't gonna post this. I go do for the video. Abarat is that tomorrow, and I headed on my way home to do the video, and boom, I see YouTube. I listened. I was like, what? I was like, wait, the fellas take my precepts, right? But the spirit. Right, so the Isaiah 32 and verse 7. It says, the instruments also of the churl are evil. He devised wicked devices to destroy the poor with lying words, even when the needy speak right. Yeah? The instruments are wicked. All his instruments, all his tools are wicked. Your instrument mean tools. Right? It's the instruments of the churl. Now, you're going to find out what or who is the churl. Right? So, let me go firstly to the blue letter here. Right? Already have it pulled up, because I said I did the video last night. Yeah? Lovely. Right, let me see what it says here.
Strong's H 3596. Kilai. Second entry. Kalai.
Alright. So, the first entry it says what? In the sense of withholding. So basically a selfish or stingy person, greedy. Right? Going down, second entry, Strong's definition. Kilai or Kilai, right? In the sense of withholding negatively, right? Outline of biblical uses of it says scoundrel, right? A scoundrel. Scoundrel is what? A low class person that use. They call them a low life. Yeah? So it's basically a greedy low life, basically, is what the word churl means. Now we go to the etymology of the word. Right? Alright, the etymology of the word churl. Old English, so whatever that word is, I don't know the pronunciation, but we're moving on. Peasant, you see? Peasant, scoundrel, one of the lowest class of freeman, man without rank. Low life, the lowest of the low. From Proto-Germanic, Kerlas, or Karlas, source also of Old Frisian, Zil, man, fellow, middle, low. German Kerl, Dutch Kerel, freeman of low degree. German Kerl, man, husband, Old Norse Karl, old man, man. Right. Basically somebody low, a low life. You understand? You see, the instruments of these low lives, or these selfish low lives, are what? Are evil. Right? Yeah. It's the instruments also of the low lives, or the selfish scoundrels, are evil. He devised wicked devices. So everything that he could put out down to the AI, this AI thing they created, you understand? These are instruments of his wickedness. Yeah? And watch me, all the gases, all these things. You think alright, think of it like this. They have GMO plants, right? You think creating GMO plants, the process of creating it is something good for the environment? How could it be something good for the environment if the fruit, if the plant itself is not even good to consume? And that is what they feed in here. They have lab grown meats now. Everything on this, they are polluting the earth. You understand? They are polluting the earth. They are the basemen. Right? And then we go to Job, the book of Job. Just to reference that, Job 30 and verse 6, it says what? It says, to dwell in the cliffs of the valleys, in caves of the earth, and in the rocks, among the bushes they braid. Alright, let's go up a little bit. Yeah, it says verse 5, it said they were driven forth from among men. They cried after them as after they were driven from among men, because what? They cried, the men and them cried after them as they would cry after. They like, hey, go from here, boy. They run them because these low lives. Right? It say what? To dwell in the cliffs of the rock, in cliffs of the earth, and in the rocks, cliffs of the valley, Salakia. Right? The cavemen are who? The cavemen. They came from what? The Caucasus Mountains, these Edomites. You understand? That we call themselves, that way you get the word Caucasian from. You understand? The Mount of Caucasus. You know? They were cavemen. They were the freaking cavemen, yo. They were the cavemen. Right? It's among the bushes, they braid under the nettles, they were gathered together. They were children of fools, yea, children of base men. They were viler than the earth. You understand? They were viler than the earth. They were the base ones. Yes, and now we lowly. But at the end of the day, in all truth, they are the ones that are lower than us. You understand? That is where they get, that is all this. You understand? It's because they are low lives. They are wicked. They are selfish. You understand? They say the man cry after them as if they cry after a thief. What they do? They stole all the lands they say are theirs, all the riches they say that is what they are. Those are stolen goods. They use the instruments, you understand, of selfishness. You understand? And they steal the goods. You understand? They conquer lands by what? By violence. Right? As I hear, I didn't know how this one right down, but as I hear, we could just get it because I find I referencing it a lot. Job 9 and verse 24, it said, the earth is given into the hand of the wicked. He covereth the faces of the judges thereof. If not, where and who is he? You understand? Who was in charge of the flicking renaissance? Who was in charge of covering the faces? Edom. Esau Edom. You understand? That was their handiwork. Now let me go to Daniel, the book of Daniel 4 and 17. These scriptures are showing you who is the churl. The instruments of these people are wicked, right? So let me find who they are. And in 4 and 17 it says, this matter is by the decree of the watchers and the demand by the word of the holy ones, to the intent that the living may know that the Most High ruleth in the kingdom of men. Yes, right? So the Most High rule, everything that happens in the kingdom of man on earth is in accordance to what the Most High wants, to the Most High will. In accordance to the Most High will, right? It says that the living may know in the kingdom of men, and giveth it to whomsoever he will, and set it up over the basis of men. The Edomites, right? The Edomites, they have polluted the earth. They are the reason the earth is the way it is. Only go back into the book of Isaiah. If you feel weed or the life forms on earth or the ones that have dominion over earth don't have a direct part to play in what's going on in the flicking with the elements right now, because we know there are machines that interfere with the weather. It's not them no interfere with. You understand? They can't see nothing at peace or at rest. You understand? They always want to upset and overthrow and turn something upside down. Book of Isaiah 24 5. It says, the earth also is defiled under the inhabitants thereof, because they have transgressed the laws, changed the ordinance, broken the everlasting covenant. Yeah. What does Esau push? Esau push everything against the law of the Most High. And I say what the earth also is defiled under the inhabitants, because the rulers of this world defile or break the law of the Most High and try to change ordinances. Because the scripture say what? They seek to change times and laws, right? One law is the thing they're trying to change, but you know it's okay for two men to be married, okay for two men to be. Yo, that is. They're supposed to die for that. That's what's supposed to happen. It says, broken the everlasting covenant, therefore had the curse devoured the earth, and they that dwell therein are desolate. Therefore the inhabitants of the earth are burned, and few men left. Yeah, that is why that few men going back to the elect and the 144,000. The rest of them are burned. You understand? They desolate. They have to be wiped out. You understand? They have to be wiped out. But we know who have the place like this. We know why the place being like this. We know something drastic is about to happen on a global scale. You understand? Just bear with my moment. I have a scripture in mind. Trying to see if I'll get it here. If it will come to my father typing. It says, this is it. 2 Corinthians 2:11 says, lest Satan should get an advantage of us, for we are not ignorant of his devices. Satan means what? Adversary, yeah. Our biggest adversary is Esau. He had us under captivity, still has us under captivity. You understand? Still has us under captivity. They polluting, they defiling the earth through the legislations. You know what? You all should go look at that video. Go look at the video El Apostle Ariam Lab and El Damashopa did, right? Because it is about the legislation and the rules and the laws they pass. Right? They saw all this is part of their device. You understand? All that is part of their device. That is how they implement it through their legislations. You understand? They do a beautiful breakdown on it. Yeah? So I read that again and say, lest Satan should get an advantage of us, for we are not ignorant of his devices. No. And the book of Daniel, it says, well, by the decree of the watchers. We are the watchmen here. We don't sight up and see what's going on. Yeah? And we are waiting. We patient and are waiting. Here is the patience of the saints. We waiting. We patient and waiting. Just to see everything happen. Because we know it is going to happen. And that is why we sigh and cry daily. Whether I be on the YouTube, whether I be on the streets. You understand? We make sure and go out on the streets and we go on the YouTube and sigh and cry. As much as possible. So the most I would what? Please shorten days for the elect's sake. Because it's becoming harder and harder to live on this planet. You understand? It's becoming harder and harder to live on the planet. The soil is defiled, the air is defiled, the land itself is defiled, the earth is dying because of what the inhabitants, which goes back to what the rulers of the inhabitants, who are the wicked, who are the churl. Their instruments are destroying the earth. The scoundrels, the lowlives. 2 Peter 3 and 13. We close off after this, right? It says, nevertheless, we according to his promise look for new heavens and a new earth, wherein dwelleth righteousness. Right? We seek for a new heaven and a new earth, wherein dwelleth righteousness. Because the Most High, Yahweh Bashem Yahushua is coming back here to cleanse this place, to burn it down. It will be cleansed by fire. Yeah? You cannot pour new wine into an old vessel, into an old cistern. The same way we can bring a new kingdom into our old, into our used, you know what I mean? How to put it? This kingdom has to go for our next kingdom to come up. And our kingdom will be perpetual. So if this kingdom is temporal, we can't put a perpetual kingdom here. This place has to go. It has to be burnt down. And that is what we are waiting for. Verse 14, it says, wherefore, beloved, seeing that ye look for such things, be diligent that ye may be found of him in peace, without spot and blameless. That is why breaking the law is such a dreadful thing. That is why not keeping the commandments is a dreadful thing. You understand? These things could what? Could waver your patience. The patience of a new heaven and a new earth. And are you out in the world doing shit? Bugged out. Yeah? But nevertheless, hope this lesson was edifying to the spirit and power of Yahweh Bashem Yahushua. This was just to show how Esau, you understand, through his devices and his creations, his chemicals, you know what I mean, you're burning down forests to build fucking cities and so on and so forth. You know what? All his devices are wicked because he's wicked. No righteousness could come out of wickedness, So with that, I would say, Kalalal Wahawadla, Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, Bashem Kwakadash, double honors to the apostles and elders of GMS group. Well, peace and salutations to the brothers on the four corners of this earth, pushing this word in truth and in sincerity. This is Brother Manatazak from Trinidad and Tobago. Once again, saying Shalom.